So, if you guys could decide, which area would you like to see first when it comes to Eve Zoo? The Asian area or a Scandinavian area? Because I'm kind of teetering on both of them. I'm just like, I want the Scandinavian area, but I also want the Asian area, but I don't know which one comes first. Also, yes, I've built myself in a little bit of a pickle when it comes to Eve Zoo. But anyways, let me know down below in the comments which area you guys would like to see first. But with that being said, hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade. I hope all of you are doing well today. And for today, we're building a gray seal habitat. It's kind of more of a chill video, not really big buildings, but a massive bridge, which means torture for poison. But anyways, before the video starts, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you want to see more, and let's get started with torture. So when it came to this habitat, I wanted it to just, as I said, be a lot more chill, a lot more just, you know, not really that bam in your face, because that's one of the things that Eve Zoo kind of struggles with, is having those sort of middle of the road, you know, those more peaceful habitats. Because, well, here's the thing with YouTube, you want that like iconic or like standout thumbnail builds, but that makes it so that Eve Zoo can very easily become very chaotic. It's actually the reason why one of you guys actually once suggested, oh, maybe add a monorail, and then I immediately thought, yeah, I don't think that's going to work because Eve Zoo is already a little bit too chaotic. Good suggestion, but that should have probably been thought of by me before I really started building Eve Zoo. So yeah, it was a little bit too late to implement that in a pretty way that wouldn't just throw everything off balance. So again, good suggestion, but sadly I would have needed to think of that at the start of the project. So when it comes to this build, it was really just like trying to sort of balance Lakeside. And I already mentioned like, hey, new area, and I need to probably explain why I'm thinking of also building a new area or third area, second area. Anyway, that it's all because well, Lakeside is in a little bit of a pickle, because all of the animals that I was thinking of like building, yeah, they all need like indoor habitats as well. Like I wanted crocodiles, the Californian seal, Californian sea hounds. I'm just, for some reason, I have the Dutch word for it in my head, but the English word is just completely disattached from it in my head. Because in Dutch, we would call it Californische zeehond, I think. I am now not even sure anymore if the Dutch version that I have in my head is correct. Californian seal, I'm just going to say. But all of them require indoor habitats or indoor sections, because yeah, poison, some animals can't survive Dutch winters, even though Dutch winters are basically nothing by now. Dutch winters are kind of weird, because either there's nothing and it's just rainy and it's like it's close to freezing temperatures, occasionally goes into freezing temperatures, or there's just a massive snowstorm. You can't have both of them. I wish I was joking, but like this winter, there was basically no winter, which was actually, you know, kind of nice when it comes to like delivering newspapers in the morning, which if you didn't know, that's what I do in the morning. Then on the other hand, it's also like, yeah, winter, snow, right? No. Well, last winter there was snow for a week, and everything was chaos, because the Netherlands can't handle winter. Well, mostly the public transport system. Like one little bit of snow and the entire train system just goes down. No matter how much they prepare for it. Like I think they have like those heated, what is it called? In Dutch it's wissels. What's it in English? Oh boy. The heated changes? I don't know, like the places in the rail where it can change the direction of the train. One of you guys is going to let me know what it's called. But yeah, they have heated versions of those so that they don't like freeze up. Yeah, it didn't work. Still froze up. Still the train network went down. So yeah, when it comes to Dutch winters, you either have nothing or you have everything for 1 week and then it's nothing. It was kind of fun though, just having so much snow. And then after a day, it's like, yeah, the wonder of winter is gone and it's just annoying. Cold, slippery, because of course, you know, the snow gets trampled and turned into ice, so then you don't need to be drunk to fall on your butt then. Not that I've actually never fallen or barfed or anything when drunk. Singing, yes, but I also never have had a hangover, it's kind of like me and the monetization on YouTube. I kind of want to experience it, but also not. But anyways, yeah, what was I talking about? Because I think I went off topic and started talking about Dutch winters. Anyway, when it comes to this habitat, as I said, I wanted a more peaceful, relaxed habitat that doesn't really like... When it comes to like the beaver habitat, it's like with the lounge in the middle of it, it's kind of like it's a big build, draws your eye. But with the gray seal habitat, I wanted it to be more relaxed and also have a little bit of a different biome or look, because beavers, otters and such, they are all like sort of inland water creatures. Although I did see a sea otter on the workshop, and you know me, if I can add more water squirrels, I will do so. Yes, otters are the cousins of squirrels. Don't take that seriously. I also just want to have a button that I can press whenever I make like a joke that can be semi-seriously interpreted, and it just says, or if I just boink the button, it just says, for legal reasons, Poison does not any sort of way endorse violence, murder, deep frying of persons, and in any sort of way physical or mentally hurting other people. I want to have like one very specific thing in there, such as deep frying a person, just to make it more ridiculous. I don't think I'm going to stay on topic in this video for more than 5 seconds, but then that's normal. But yeah, when it came to this habitat, I said, oh, it's going to be very relaxed and peaceful, but then I built a massive bridge. Well, at least I don't... This is a teaser for like an upcoming video that's been in the works for basically a month now, because like it's one of those builds where I have like 20 minutes of inspiration for it and then it's just gone and it doesn't come back for another week. But yeah, for another build I have to look up pinups. It's going to make sense in that video though. It's going to make sense. For probably another month that video won't be there, so now it's just going to be just a random thing of Poison looking up pinups. Going to make sense, because for once I actually built a building just completely, well not completely based off, but referencing the music that I want to use in the cinematics. That build's going to be, well, it's not going to be there for a long time. So let's try and stick to the habitat, Poison. And let's not talk about pinups or Dutch winters. But yeah, when it came to the habitat, I said wanted it to be peaceful and, you know, just relaxing, because you need those areas in your zoo where it's not just bam in your face, because if everything is bam in your face, then in essence nothing is bam in your face. So when it came to this habitat, I wanted it to be peaceful and I built a massive... I mean, it's still peaceful when it comes to the nature and such, because when it comes to the foliage and such, it's very more muted than all of the other habitats, because it's like a different biome. All of the other biomes or other habitats have had, well, more of an inland look. Lakeside, it was like the sort of inland swampy look, and then with all the other habitats, it was just like forest and sort of plains or just open in grasslands. And this was beach, because gray seals don't really live in inland waters from what I know, from what I researched a little bit. And yes, I do a little bit of research when it comes to the animals, because I want to have a clear picture of their natural habitats. It's also a reason why I not going to really do like... This was also one suggested of like having gray seals and having, or just seals, and having kind of like a, you know, show kind of thing or look to it, where there were like the benches and such, or the, yeah, benches. I'm just going to call benches because English is not in my vocabulary today. I'm not going to make like animal shows or anything for Eve Zoo, because I would... Well, the idea behind Eve Zoo is that it's like, it's a futuristic zoo, but it tries to, or futuristic, modern, slightly realistic, like a very slightly realistic zoo. Although all of the buildings in Eve Zoo so far are way beyond any zoo's budget probably, because I mean, this bridge is, I mean, it was fun to build. It's like I tried something new when it came to bridge. I, for some reason, really love cabled or like, yeah, cable bridges right now. But when it comes to EveZoo, I don't think EveZoo wants anything to do with like animal shows and such. They want the animals to be in there, like in as much of a natural environment as the zoo can sort of create for the animals, so that the animals like sort of stay wild, that they don't like change behavior and such, because I think that shows can do that where they kind of change the behavior of an animal because, you know, they're trained to do tricks and such. And when it comes to EveZoo, I think EveZoo is all about like making sure that the animals behave in a natural way, how they would behave in the wild. When it comes to the gray seals, I actually made it so that the actual fence and the position where the guest is, that there's like a little bit of space in between, so that guests can't like, you know, reach over the fence, which, I mean, they can kind of do with the beavers and every other animal. Probably shouldn't, well, they can't do that with the lynxes and the bears, like the fences there are just way too high. I should probably have done that with the bisons as well. Moose, there's just a moat in between, so didn't really have to do that, but gray seals can become territorial. They don't really care about humans, but if there's like babies around or anything, then it becomes an issue. So I wanted to create distance between the guests and the actual animals. But yeah, when it comes to this habitats, wanted to be natural and wanted it to be peaceful. Then build a massive bridge. But hey, this is one of the, well, actually the only one in which the bicycle safari is like a major part of the habitat. The bicycle safari also goes through the other habitat, but it's more like off to the side and more like, you know, sort of enclosed with the bridge that I built for it. So when it came to this habitat, it was just all about like finally a habitat where I can really put the bicycle safari through it. Yes, it's completely a useless thing because there's no bicycles or like people on bicycles in Plant Zoo. I don't think there's a bicycle safari any zoo, as far as I'm aware. But hey, EveZoo is all about modern and slightly futuristic. So, you know, get out of that car and onto your bicycle for this zoo. I mean, cycling is healthy, so, you know, EveZoo is all about that, I think. Yeah, EveZoo is definitely not a very evil corporation, or like there's not an evil corporation behind EveZoo that's trying to, you know, kind of sweep their bad reputation under the rug by having a very glamorous, futuristic and animal-friendly zoo. Definitely not that. They are definitely not... where was I going with this again? I don't know. The amount of brain farts that I keep getting in videos is kind of staggering, where I'm like, alright, this is where it's going, and then it's gone. Anyway, I also made a new education screens, and the one thing that I kept thinking about is like, these are probably very pricey. They are not just going to let those things just, you know, hang out in the open. So I wanted to make sure that this screen was completely covered, that there was actually a panel of glass in between the screen and, you know, the outside world, basically. The weather doesn't influence it, and guests can't really do much to it, because, again, I would assume that these screens would be pricey, or at least would be pricey for the zoo, and they don't want to replace these every week because some idiot punched a hole in it. I don't know why I went so specific with punch a hole in a TV screen, but there you go. I mean, there's idiots enough when it comes to zoos. Just ask Silver. There's also the people in a zoo that were on a or had like a safari, like car safari in a zoo in the Netherlands, stepped out of their car in the middle of a cheetah habitat. I already told this story once, but it's just zoos, for some reason, draw idiots. And then the countless amount of animals that have been put down because somebody was stupid enough to get into the habitat. I mean, I get it if they accidentally fell into the habitat, if they willingly get into the habitat, then it's just, do we really need them in this world? I would much prefer the animals sometimes. Again, button of boys. For legal reasons, Poison does not endorse the murder, death, deep frying in any sort of way, physically or mentally causing hurt to another person. This is all a joke. Perhaps, maybe, somewhat, natural selection. What is this voiceover going towards? What was it like? I think the story that I saw was of somebody who got into a tiger habitat or something. Like they willingly got into a tiger habitat and then sadly the tiger had to be put down to save the person. Because at that moment, like I understand it to save the person, like, you know, you can't wait for the tiger to fall asleep from words today. Like you can't put the tiger under anything with like a sleeping dart because it can take too long and in that time the tiger can have already killed the person. But if you willingly get into a habitat in a zoo, why? And then there's this silver story with the peacock. I always just think of that one. I mean, to me it's hilarious. Animals and people don't really mix well. I mean, that's just a fact because we've caused the extinction of so many. I'm still surprised. I think, yeah, it's Australia. Well, I know that's Australia because where else would there be a war on animals? But didn't Australians lose the war against emus? One of the times that animals won. But then there was also that story of like a Siberian tiger who got his meal stolen, I think, by a hunter, and the hunter, I think, shot him. And then the tiger actually tracked down the hunter, waited for him at his cabin or in his cabin. I was going to say, how did the tiger get into the cabin? But then I know that, like, yeah, you're not going to stop a tiger from just banging through a window. I mean, you can't really stop anyone from banging through a window if they pull full force into it. But yeah, I think the tiger then just completely just shredded that hunter. Was it a Siberian tiger? I think it was. I know that was like in a cold place, but yeah. Anyway, what was I talking about when I came to the habitats? Yeah, as I said before, supposed to be peaceful and relaxed. Didn't end up that way because it was a little bit... I got a little bit carried away with the bridge. But the entire idea is just to have those areas where there's not really that much, where it's kind of more relaxed and it doesn't really have like big buildings as such, because if you make everything big and grand and such, is anything really big and grand then if everything is that way? You need those areas where there's basically nothing or like everything is very like middle of the road, so that the things that you want to kind of bang in your face, or have the areas that you kind of want to be more of like the showstopper areas to really, you know, work. Because if everything is great and grand, then in a way nothing is, because then you basically built a new sort of middle ground, which you then need even bigger and grander things to stand out. But then you kind of can get into the cycle of you just build bigger, bigger and bigger, and then in the end nothing is really big. So yeah, anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. So teaser for, well, I don't know if it's going to be the next video or the video afterwards, I will see, but I have to look up pinups, which is in no way really related to the actual build. It's just an addition to the build that I made because I have music in mind for the cinematics. And yeah, I might start a new area because the Lakeside, like a lot of the builds for animals that I want in Lakeside to require a lot more time. So I need more like smaller builds to kind of space everything out, because I'm just want to say this, I'm very grateful for you guys, because my schedule lately has been all over the place. I do apologize for that. Sadly, can't really be helped, because sometimes I get really into a build and it just takes longer because I want it to, you know, be as great as it can be. And then other times things just get in the way. Like sometimes real life just throws a wrench into the schedule. So I'm forever grateful for you guys for, you know, being patient when I don't adhere to my own schedule. So with that being said, and before I start crying, because, you know, Poison, I'm not going to cry on camera. Well, I don't have a face cam, but well, I have once cried actually in a video, sort of. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. So let me know down below in the comments if you would like to see an Asian or a Scandinavian area first. And with that being said, Wish all of you guys a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more. There's the notification button, but before that one starts working, my voiceover will make sense. Anyways, again, that's going to be it. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye bye.